Good evening, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. Well, guys, I need to take a shower and get to bed. I've done this a few times now this week so far because I've been getting up so early. And just like not getting much sleep or whatever. Ended up like today, got home from the football game, ended up having dinner, which was already really late. Then I ended up falling asleep. Now I woke back up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I still have my makeup on. I need to go and wash my face. Like, I need to go and brush my teeth. I need to take a shower. Like, and I'm not like, I'm still in my clothes. Like, I'm not ready for bed. I just fall asleep. And I don't normally do that. Like, I normally don't like take naps and stuff like that either. So the fact that I'm like falling asleep during like the, you know, like in the evenings is like, and again too, it's like nighttime. Like, it's normally like I would probably be falling asleep or going to bed around that time anyway, but then it's like, then I fall asleep, then I wake up like in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, I still need to go and take a shower. So yeah, I've done that now probably like 2 or 3 times at least this week. So today started off I feel like pretty well. I didn't wake up insanely early today, but I feel like I had enough time in the morning. Like, I had my coffee, my breakfast, I brushed my teeth like right after that, and then a few hours after that was when I ended up having like lunch, I guess, and then we left for football at like 3 o'clock, or I think I started getting ready around 3 o'clock. I think we left at like 4 o'clock or something like that. So I felt like I had a good enough time in the morning because like last Friday I didn't eat anything. Like, I had like breakfast, then I had like a couple little snacks, and then we left. Like, I didn't have enough time to really eat anything. So that was, I felt like that was really good, and I was like full for the game, and I wasn't starving when I came home. But it's like, again too, that really weird thing, because then I came home at like 10 o'clock and had to eat dinner because I couldn't really eat beforehand because it's still like 4 o'clock, you know, that like we leave. So you know, it's really just lunch. It's like a late lunch that I'm eating. So anyways, that was you know, like I said, I feel like today worked out really well though. So we ended up going to the football game, and we were there though early because the Frost-Soft team, they start practice I think at like 4:30, or like they go out on the field at 4:30. So I was there though at like around 4 o'clock. So I went out straight to the field when I got there instead of like hanging around like the coach's office, like, you know, with my dad and Jack and stuff like that. I figured I'd just go straight out to the football field, you know, and go and sit in the bleachers, since I was probably going to watch the Frost-Off game anyway because I wasn't needed until the varsity game. But again, because they're my ride, I had to go with them, and I also had to leave with them. But I ended up, like I said, going out onto the football field, and I'm like the only person out there. Well, not the only person, I was the only person in the bleachers. There was like you know, people, they had like track, I think, was practicing, and like I think they might have had some people like kind of setting up for the game, but like there's like nobody else. Like, there wasn't even like anybody in the booth, like nobody, like, you know, like maintenance wasn't there. Like, I was like, I'm the only person like on this side of the field right now, and I was just sitting there like waiting for the game, you know, like, or at least for them to come out, like for their practice to start and stuff like that at like 4:30, and I think the game starts at 5 o'clock. So it actually didn't feel like that long of waiting. But the thing that was kind of stunk was that it did start raining, and it was supposed to rain. There was like a slight chance, like a 20% chance of like a little bit of rain for like I don't know, at like maybe 4 o'clock or something like that. It was like right around the time I got out to the field, and I was still like the only person sitting there. So then it started raining, and I texted my dad. I was like, if it starts raining really bad, can you let me back in the school so that like I don't have to sit here in the rain? But it did rain for a little bit, and I put my rain poncho on, and then like after like, I don't know, 10 minutes, it wasn't even like a heavy rain, but after about 10 minutes it let up, and then I was like, okay, that's fine, like, you know. And it didn't rain anymore, which was awesome, because it did look pretty, especially when we left, like really bad, like really cloudy and stuff like that. But again, it wasn't too bad. So then the Frost-Off team ended up playing. I know they scored 1 touchdown, and it was one of Jack's best friend's little brothers ended up scoring, which was so cute. Like, their family like have been like family friends of ours. Jack's been in like 1st grade, I think, or kindergarten or something like that. I think it was 1st grade, like Jack's known them since then. They have almost all boys. They have one girl, but they've got a few sons that are both older and younger than like Jack's friend. Younger brothers are in high school. 2 of them are in high school right now. Then they have the little sister, and then there's another little brother. He did end up scoring. I want to say that, I don't remember exactly, but I think that the other team ended up scoring like maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns, I think, and we scored 1. And I think it was just, we got 6 points. I think we might have went for a 2-point conversion, but we didn't get it. And I don't remember if they did either, so that's why I don't remember exactly what the score was. But it was somewhere between like 4, maybe 3 to 5 touchdowns or something like that. So did end up winning, but like the Frostoff team is never, they might win like 1 game a season. They've not normally been very competitive, which is funny because when Jack was in high school though, his Frostoff team did better than the varsity team did. And normally it's kind of, I mean, I can't say it's normally the other way around, but like since lately that the varsity team's been doing better, it's normally the varsity team has, you know, like ends up winning more games than the Frostoff team does. So again, it was like somewhat competitive, but it wasn't like that. I mean, they didn't like get blown out, but it wasn't, you know, they didn't end up winning. And then the varsity team, who we thought we were going to be, you know, pretty dominant, you know, like, again, we thought based on records and stuff like that. So we were hoping that, like, it was going to be a somewhat, you know, a little bit more of a wider margin of, you know, like winning and stuff like that. So at halftime, it was only, we were up 12-0. And the other team had gotten, like, you know, moved the ball pretty well and got pretty close to scoring, and we've just, you know, like, we barely ended up, you know, stopping them. The defense did. So, and it's only, again, 12-0 at halftime, and I was like, this is actually a closer game than, you know, like, I was kind of anticipating it was going to be. But then after halftime, I know we kicked off to the other team. They went, like, kind of marched down the field. I don't know if they were in the red zone. They might have been. But the defense ended up stopping them. And I was like, you know, because again, if they score and it's like 12-6, I was like, momentum can change and this game could very quickly go downhill and we could end up losing this game. I was like, hopefully the defense can stop them and they will be able to, you know, like, maybe, you know, get some more offense going, because like my dad was saying, it was actually the reason why they kind of didn't, you know, the score wasn't, I guess, as high as it could have been, or the offense hadn't scored as much, you know, as they maybe should or could have, was because my dad said that defensively they came out differently than kind of what they were anticipating. And so it was, you know, again, they had to kind of adjust for all that kind of stuff. So then though, in the second half, after we ended up stopping them, right after, you know, like the kickoff and you know, to start the second half, I don't remember what happened first. I think that one of our kids ended up with like an 84-yard touchdown run. And then, so again, yeah, I think they were in the red zone when we ended up stopping them, because then we got the ball back. And then after that, our kid ended up getting, like I said, 84-yard touchdown run, which is amazing. Then after that, we ended up, I think we kicked off to them, ended up stopping them, and then on 4th down they ended up going to punt. We blocked the punt and ended up recovering it in the end zone for a touchdown. Then I want to say it was the very next drive after that, I think we ended up getting a pick 6. So now we're up like 3 scores, or no, we're up 4 scores, or 5 scores, I think, at that point. So, you know, again, we had the 12 points from the first half, and then I think they scored 3 times, like, very quickly right after that. And then I know that I think we scored another 2 touchdowns. I believe that the final was 48-0, which is huge, because that's a huge thing as far as like shutout goes. So our defensive coordinator, who again has been coaching along with our head coach for the last 3 years, like he came along with him, or he, you know, like the head coach ended up hiring him, whatever, when they, you know, he took the head coaching job here. But in the years that he's been coaching, which has been, you know, like a decent while, I don't exactly know how long, but you know, like he's older than me but not as old as my dad. But in all of his years of being a defensive coordinator, he's never had a shutout in a game ever. So like, again, not just the 3 years with us, but like all of his coaching career, he's never had a shutout. And I was like, that's pretty huge. Like, and also considering how close the other team got to scoring on a few occasions was also insanely awesome. So I felt like so proud for him and like the defense and stuff like that too, to like get that is amazing. Because the one thing is that defense is somewhere that we've struggled with a lot. Like last year, the offense was pretty dominant. I had one kid that was definitely like really good, like, you know, scouted kind of kid. He ended up going to like a pretty decent, you know, college for football, and got like, you know, football scholarships and stuff like that. And so, you know, he was a big part of the offense. Also too, like the offensive line and stuff like that has been really good, but we've just had like a really good offense, you know. And so, and I noticed this, I think at the last the scrimmage last week, I told my dad, I was like, your defense looks pretty good this year. And normally, like I said, the defense is a lot of times in places like has struggled. But and the other thing too is that the linebacker that's a senior this year that Jack coaches, he's like been one of his friends, he played youth football with Jack, he actually got injured. And so we were like, you know, how is that going to affect the defense and stuff like that? But I think that it's just really cool that, you know, they got the shutout. Not just that too, but like that the offense was able to kind of start rolling. And the defense scored points, special teams scored points, like, and then the offense put up a good amount of points as well. I know our quarterback had a touchdown, and then there was one other kid that I also know ended up having a touchdown too. So I know that the offense for sure scored 2 other times after the second half, or 3 times I know for sure after the second half. And then I know, like I said, I think defense got a pick 6, and then the blocked punt. So again, I thought that they did really good today. The game was really fun to watch, and thankfully, guys, do you guys notice how I was talking all about the football game and not about anything that happened with the camera? The camera works perfectly. It was so awesome. Had no troubles. I think I caught everything, you know, like, I mean, I was pretty on my game. So, yeah, everything worked out. It's just at halftime, the coach came over to change out the battery for the camera, just so it wouldn't die like during the game. And the only thing was is that it wasn't, when he put it back up, he left, and I realized, oh, the camera's actually not moving. Like, I tested it, and then all of a sudden I went to go and like kind of like, you know, again, move it again, and I was like, okay, it's not working. And so I had to text him to come back over. He was able to like kind of plug it back in a little bit because it was kind of loose. So, and then I had no other problems after that. But that was like, I think I might have missed the kickoff at halftime, but other than that, we were like good to go for the pretty much entire game, which I thought was, again, awesome that we didn't have to worry about any of that stuff. So yeah, the main point was about how the game turned out today, and not any camera related stuff, which was nice. But again, it was a really good football game. It's funny too because I kind of want to watch it from, like, they also live stream it, so I kind of want to watch it from like the actual like fan perspective instead of from my end zone, because it's sometimes really difficult to watch and be able to see because I can't judge the distance of like stuff that happens because of where, you know, I'm sitting in the end zone. So like I'm always having to look at like the down marker to see like how far the ball's moving and stuff like that to actually tell like where, you know, like, did they get a first down? Was that a far run? Like, I really cannot tell it all from where I'm sitting. So that's why I have to, I kind of want to like go back over and watch it maybe again and just be like, oh, like I didn't notice that. Or again too, there were some really big plays that happened in there that I was like, I want to watch those again, because there was one, the quarterback had like this, like, I don't know, stiff arm, like ran into a kid, like ran a kid over to get the touchdown. I was like, and I caught it like when it happened, but I didn't really get to see like exactly what was going on because like of my focus and like, you know, watching the football and stuff like that to make sure that I'm following it with the camera. So it's like sometimes I miss stuff that's like going on. But anyways, it was a overall really great game, really great start to the season too. We're 1-0, and I heard that in the conference too, we actually are pretty, like, it's pretty good because a lot of the other conference teams ended up losing. So anyways, though, like I said, really great game, but I'm gonna go take a shower now and get to bed. I will see you guys all in tomorrow.